Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at raharden.com. That's the World Wide Web at RAHARDIN.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit Amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from the critique of the short story through to line edits on full-length novels. We also offer assistance on generating writers' bios for your websites. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
The mainstream media is really the make-believe media. First, they make up the news, and then they make you believe it.
Hi, this is Susan Swift.
I'm highly successful, have been all my life. I have enjoyed successful careers in film, television, and law.
I'm Dan Wright, a father, a gun owner, a dog owner, and a Federalist.
I'm Susan Swift, and you are listening to Constitution and Culture on KLRN Radio,
where liberty and reason still reign.
I'm Susan Swift, and I'm really happy and proud to be able to introduce to you 2 very special individuals that I met at CPAC just last week in Washington, D.C. I met Cliff Sossaman and Urshel Metcalf. They're both Marine Corps veterans, and they are doing something very, very bold and unique to help veterans across this nation. They are part of something called Honor, Courage, and Commitment, and I want to have them tell you what they are doing. So welcome, Cliff, and welcome, Urshel. Thanks so much for talking to me today.
Hey, Susan, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
I am so glad. I want you to tell us a little bit about your experience at CPAC and what you were doing there and why you went, and your happy memories about CPAC so that people understand what it's all about. And I'd love to hear all about your organization.
Yeah, absolutely. CPAC was an amazing event. It was a huge collection of individuals who gathered to really celebrate America and see what they can do to make America better, right? And that's what we do every day. We're driven to empower, and we empower veterans to take on that next mission in life, whatever that may be. And that's what we do at Honor, Courage, Commitment. And we were out there talking about our mission, talking about our organization, and really announcing to the country through all the different media outlets our new Veteran Business Center, which we're launching here in Dallas in the next month or so.
Awesome. Tell me all about the Honor, Courage, and Commitment. Where did you guys get the idea? How did you form this, and what it's going to be doing for veterans?
Yeah, thanks, Susan.
Hi, Urshel. Sorry, this is Urshel. We've got Urshel and Cliff. So, Urshel, let's hear from you too.
Sure. Honor, Courage, Commitment was started in 2011 by a Marine Corps veteran and also someone who had not served in the military. And that's one of the reasons we constantly tell people you don't have to have worn a uniform to serve, because the vision and the mission was started with those two individuals who connected at Southern Methodist University in a MBA program. And so the veteran found out that he was having success, but wasn't sure why other veterans weren't having the same type of success as far as being an entrepreneur. And so they put their heads together and they came up with 3 pillars, which are still to this day the 3 pillars of our organization, Honor, Courage, Commitment. And that is education, mentorship, and community service. And it was by focusing on those 3 things, continually educating yourself, either formal or non-formal education, having that mentor, someone that can help guide you, that's kind of been down that path and can hold you accountable, and then reconnecting with service, which every veteran obviously is a servant at heart. Otherwise, there's no other reason to join the military unless you want to serve your country, and that's exactly what it's called. So by focusing on those 3 pillars and developing programs around that, they were able to connect with other veterans and help them achieve entrepreneurial success as well.
Wonderful. Now, how many people do you currently have in your organization that I guess I should say veterans that you've helped? I understand it's to really help empower veterans who have now come out of the service and are now seeking to re-enter private society. Is that right?
That's correct. And as far as entrepreneurs, we've had 60 veterans go through our veteran entrepreneurial training, which we call our VET program. We've had 60 veterans go through that program. Of those 60 veterans, we've seen 30 businesses launched and 6 nonprofits. Wow.
That's really good percentages, and that's just since when did you start that with these 60 veterans who came to you? When was that? When did that begin?
2012 was the first year we started the training program. Mm-hmm. And that program has, like most things, it has developed and evolved. And so it started out really kind of on a one-on-one basis, and then it grew into what was then called fellowship classes of varying sizes. The last classes that we had go through usually have 8 to 12 participants in them.
Wow. So you offer classes for military vets who are coming home. How can they find out about you? That's what we need to know, is when you've been through this. I have not been in the military, but you have. So when you're discharged, what are you folks doing to reach out to veterans as they're, coming home and coming out of the service? How do you connect with them?
So a lot of it is just through all the partnerships we have here in North Texas. We work with a dozen to 24 different nonprofits, and through a lot of networking and connections we have is where veterans actually find us. We have a good social media presence, 25,000 plus followers on Facebook, getting our message out, people sharing it. So we ask anybody who's listening to this podcast, go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Honor, Courage, Commitment, INC, and share that page, view it, like the things that are on there. Send us a message and say, hey, I love what you're doing, or hey, change some things up, whatever it is. We love to hear from everybody, because that's how we get better. And that's really how we reach out until now. It's just really been through the word of mouth from people who have known about us and started with a group of friends and got bigger and bigger. until now that we're now doing interviews with like what we're doing with you, and like we were at CPAC last week, and now we're really starting to get the message out through radio, TV, and other means.
Wonderful. That's excellent news that you're getting it out through all different social media avenues, and also radio and print media and things like that. Is there anything else that veterans should know about your organization that you haven't talked about already? Things that I have not asked you about.
Sure. So the veteran entrepreneurship training is one aspect of what we do. One of the other things that we do is called Operation Job Placement. And in that program, we don't take veterans and say, hey, here's a job, here's an opportunity, go get it, we've already paved the way for you. It's really much more of a teach a man to fish approach. And so what we do is we bring veterans into that program, because not everybody is going to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone has an idea or a passion, or their lifestyle might not be conducive to them starting and running their own business.
Right.
But they may be looking for that next mission. And that's what our vision statement clearly says, is that we empower veterans to connect with that next mission in life using those three pillars. And so they may be someone who's looking for their next career. And so what we do is we teach them that what we know for a fact is that most jobs, even that are advertised on the internet, a lot of those jobs don't exist. 80% of jobs that are filled in one way or another based on a relationship or a connection. But even when you are using the internet and using the job sites to search for a job, you have to understand how to do that properly. And so we teach veterans our classes will teach them how to do what's called a targeted job search, which means researching the career, first of all, that you want to have. And what you're passionate about, connecting with your passion and your purpose. Then on top of that, when they kind of identify that and they see that maybe here's a company that I want to work for, how do you research that company and find out what that company culture is, what they're passionate about, and make sure there's alignment there. And then when they make that job application, we want them to know how to tailor their application to what the job is asking for, instead of just sending out a blanket, resume to 500 companies on the internet and expecting to get a job. And it's no different if you're trying to find the love of your life. You don't just write one letter and send it out in the mail, blindly to 5,000 women, right? You say,
well, I guess you could, but I
don't
know what you'd get back.
Yeah, you could, and good luck with that. But so what we want to teach them to do is say, hey, find what you want and then go after it, and here's the intelligent way to do it. And then in partnership, we partner with another organization, and that's something that we love to do. We love to partner with other organizations. Instead of trying to do everything ourselves, if there's someone that's doing it and doing it well, we like to partner with them. So we partner with an organization called Suiting Warriors. And so as they're being trained in how to do an interview and how to put the application together, they're also trained on how to dress, and they're trained on etiquette and different things to sharpen their skills as they're going to be seen by other people when they're interviewing for a job or going out. Maybe it's a lunch interview, that sort of thing. Our partner organization, Suiting Warriors, will come in and measure them for a suit and then give them a new suit that's tailored to them, so that they can look professional when they go out on those interviews.
That's brilliant. I'm really glad to know about that place, Suited Warrior. I wish I could just send my 18-year-old over there and get him all suited up. That's fabulous. So what you do is you teach them, you help them target, as you said, the targeted job search, so that they can search and match themselves up with organizations that have an aligned sense of purpose for them, their interests. And what they do is they research the company, and they even learn how to tailor their own application, their resume to a degree, and they even go and get Suited Warriors to dress them for the part, and get training in etiquette and how to I guess, because it's probably pretty different. I'm pretty comfortable meeting people, but it's very different for someone who's been on the battlefield or dealing with Army or Navy regulations to all of a sudden transition into a private business world. That's really fascinating. So you train them all the way through, from day one intake all the way through to dressing for the job. Really.
Absolutely. We don't want them walking into an interview saying, "Sir, yes, sir," and acting,
Why not? That's good.
Especially if the interview is a woman, So we want to make sure that they're,
ma'am, yes, ma'am's better.
Right. But we also have another program that's called the Fellows Program. And,
Fellows.
Yeah, and the Fellows Program is more about reconnecting on another level. So that program for our veterans that are returning, it focuses on camaraderie. It focuses on mental health and really remaking that connection, reintegrating back into society. Obviously, there's lots of talk nationally about the mental challenges and things that veterans may be facing. But the real challenge is, again, it's that loss of purpose and that loss of connection. So we partner with other organizations, and we have activities that involve equine therapy. It may involve a golf tournament. It may involve going out and doing different types of activities along with group counseling sessions and things that help get that mental and spiritual realignment as well. And so that's another very important factor. And then that's also the arm of our program that involves more community service and volunteerism and reconnecting with society, because when you've been in the military, the people you fight with are the people you eat with, are the people you work with, are the people that you play with. And so your life is entrenched and invested in your fellow serviceman to the right, fellow servicewoman to the left. And when you leave the military and then you're out just looking for a job or starting your own business, it can kind of be a lonely place. And that's where we see veterans kind of losing themselves along with that sense of purpose. So this part is really about reconnecting them, to reintegrating to the community and getting some mental and emotional balance and well-being.
It actually sounds like you are reconnecting them and, in a way, recruiting them back into the American core, back into what America is. So they get plugged in socially, spiritually. They can start having fun with neighbors and friends of like minds. So it is a re-induction, a welcoming back to make sure that they're back in the larger core that is America.
Absolutely. Life, Susan, is about consistent transitions. And we're always transitioning in life. And it doesn't matter as a baby, going from laying on your back or laying on your stomach to crawling to walking. Every time someone is going through a significant transition, it's important to have someone there to kind of help guide you and point you in the right direction. And sometimes there's a little bit of hand-holding in that process, but it's all about empowering to get through the transition and be successful in that next phase of life.
It's fabulous. Now, how can people learn more about your organization, and how can they help you continue this mission and expand it?
So, number one way to learn more is to go to our website, hccvet.org. That's hccvet.org. They can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter at HCCVET, just HCCVet, or like I said earlier, on Facebook at Honor, Courage, Commitment, Inc. The number one thing they can do is go there, learn about the mission, and share that message, whether it's through social media, through email, through telling other veterans or telling other individuals who are like-minded in this mission of veteran empowerment. That's the number one way that people can help. And that's obviously we're a nonprofit, so people who are led to do so by donating, which they can do through our Facebook page or more importantly through our website. When they do that, it'll also have the opportunity to get on our email list to stay up to date with some of the updates and events and things that we have going on. That is the number one way people can help, is just helping us spread the awareness for what we're doing. That's how we get more veterans in the door. That's how we're able to help more veterans. I mean, there's 200 to 300,000 veterans transitioning out of the military, active duty transitioning out of the military every year. And that's the ones, but at the same time, Susan, we're not just helping those young veterans who are just transitioning out. Our average age going through our program right now is in their mid-30s. So we've had veterans as old as 69 go through our program. We've had 2 retired full-bird colonels that have gone through our program last year that retired with 33 years of service that went through and are now starting their businesses. We got young men and women in their 20s going through the program, and some of those that have, just in different stages of life. So we are not just for the young transitioning military member or that retiring military member. If you've served this country, it doesn't matter what era, what branch, none of that matters to us. As long as you have served, we're here to help.
Awesome. This is a wonderful organization, and I'm glad I know about it. And I'll pass along that people really do need to connect to your website, hccvet.org, and follow you on social media. Thanks, guys. It's such a privilege. Like I said, we had so much fun meeting at CPAC, but you're really doing the hard work, God's work, America's work, to welcome veterans and to make them feel like they belong again to America, since they do. But sometimes I know it must be very hard to come off of a battlefield or an assignment and feel like you're all alone. And you help them know that they are part of the American core, the entire country. I think it's fabulous what you're doing, and I'm so glad that I got to learn about it more with you. Thanks for taking the time.
No, thank you for the opportunity, Susan. We really appreciate everything you're doing. And God bless. Thank you very much.
Oh, and God bless you. And you know what? If there's a new story that's coming up, will you tell me about, maybe another success story in about a month or so when you've got maybe your next crop of veterans who have gone through your program? I would love to hear these success stories of the new businesses that your participants have created and how they're fitting in the world. Would you do that for me?
Absolutely.
Not only would it do that, Susan, but we'd also like to make sure that, so that you do know, the next big thing that we have coming up is the opening of what we believe to be the first of its kind Veteran Business Center that's going to be opening here in the North Texas area. And
wow,
so
good.
So along with all those things that we've mentioned, there's now going to be a place where veterans can come and get all of those classes. They can have their business accelerated and incubated with the mentorship and the training and the curriculum that we have. But they can also run their business out of that facility. It's a co-working space where they can have a shared office space or open office and collaboration spaces, meeting rooms, conference rooms. They can have private offices, a professional reception, and it's all veteran-owned, veteran-operated, but it's full of veteran businesses. So getting back to that type of relationship that they're used to working in, they can now come to work in an environment that's like
they come where the water's warm. They can come to a facility where everyone there understands and it has been part of the military.
Absolutely. That's it.
Brilliant. And is that located in North Dallas where you all are? Is that where's this facility going to be?
Dallas, Texas. Yes, ma'am.
Dallas, Texas. Well, that's fabulous. That is really fabulous.
And we'll say the first one's going to be in Dallas, Texas.
Number one way to learn more is to go to our website, hccvet.org. That's hccvet.org. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hccvet, just hccvet. Thank you for having us.